Look at your kitchen cabinets right now. Really look at them. See that dark film along the edges near the stove? That sticky, almost varnish-like buildup around the handles? That's not just grease. That's grease bonded with airborne cooking oil, dust, and whatever product someone wiped on there 3 years ago thinking it would protect the wood. I've been cleaning professionally for over 25 years. My father cleaned before me. His mother cleaned before him. We have seen the inside of tens of thousands of kitchens across this country, and I can tell you with zero exaggeration, wood cabinets are the single most misunderstood surface in the American home. People either overclean them and strip to finish, or they underclean them and let grease calcify into something that takes a heat gun to remove. Both are avoidable, both happen constantly, and today I'm going to show you exactly how to do this right. Let's talk about why this matters more than you think. Wood cabinets are not just wood. That's the first thing most people get wrong. When a cabinet comes out of the factory or even out of a custom wood shop, it's been sanded, stained, sealed, and finished, multiple layers. The finish is what protects the actual wood underneath. It's what gives your cabinets their color, their sheen, and their ability to withstand 10 to 15 years of daily use. When you clean cabinets incorrectly, you're not just cleaning, you're attacking the finish. Here's what I see over and over again in homes across the country. Someone uses an all-purpose spray cleaner, they spray it on, wipe it off. Feels clean, looks clean. But that spray almost always contains water-based chemicals, sometimes ammonia, sometimes bleach derivatives, sometimes alcohol. None of those belong on a finished wood surface, not repeatedly, not over time. What they do slowly is break down the top coat. The polyurethane, a lacquer, or conversion varnish, whatever finish your cabinets have, those chemicals eat into it bit by bit. You don't notice it for months, then one day the finish looks chalky, or it starts to peel near the edges, or there's a white haze where the cleaner pooled. By that point, you're looking at refinishing, not cleaning. Then there's the opposite problem. Some people are so afraid to use anything on their cabinets that they just wipe them down with a dry cloth or a barely damp rag. Nothing wrong with that for daily dust, but grease is a different animal. Kitchen grease is hydrophobic. It repels water. It doesn't just sit on the surface, it bonds to it. Over time, that grease layer gets thick. It traps dust and debris. It becomes almost a second skin on the wood. At that stage, a damp rag doesn't cut it, neither does dish soap. You need a specific method and a specific product, and you need to know how to apply it without making things worse. And here's the part that frustrates me most. Most of the cleaning advice online for wood cabinets is just plain wrong. I don't say that to be harsh. I say it because I've tried those methods in real homes on real cabinets, and I've watched them fail. Just use vinegar. Try a baking soda paste, olive oil, and dish soap. Look, I understand why people say those things. They're natural, they're cheap, they're in your kitchen already, but vinegar is acidic. Put it on a wood finish repeatedly and you will dull that finish. Baking soda is mildly abrasive. It scratches. Olive oil doesn't clean anything. It smears the grease around and leaves its own residue that goes rancid over time. The reason so much bad advice exists is because people don't distinguish between the wood and the finish on top of the wood. They're treating the cabinet like it's a raw timber plank. It's not. And until you understand what's actually on the surface, you can't clean it correctly. Now let's talk about why wood cabinets are in 80% of American homes in the first place, because it actually matters to how you clean them. Wood became the dominant cabinet material in this country for a few reasons. After World War II, when suburban housing exploded, builders needed materials that were affordable, workable, and looked good. Wood, particularly oak, maple, cherry, and later MDF with wood veneer, checked all those boxes. It was local, it was well understood by carpenters, and American buyers trusted it. It felt like quality in a way that metal or plastic did not. Fast forward to the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, tract housing hit its stride. Millions of homes built, millions of cabinets installed. Oak cabinets were basically the default. Then the early 2000s brought cherry and maple into fashion. Now you see a lot of painted wood, shaker-style doors, and wood veneer on MDF. But across all those decades and all those styles, the core material stayed wood or wood-adjacent. The American home building and renovation industry standardized on it, which means virtually every kitchen supply chain, every cabinet manufacturer, and every hardware store is built around it. Here's the relevant part for cleaning. Because wood cabinets span about 70 to 80 years of residential construction in this country, they come in wildly different finishes. An older home might have a cabinet with an oil-based varnish or even a shellac. A 1980s kitchen likely has a polyester or lacquer topcoat. A cabinet installed in the last 15 years is almost certainly polyurethane or conversion varnish, which is harder and more durable. A painted cabinet is its own category entirely. Why does this matter? Because different finishes respond differently to cleaning agents and methods. What works fine on a modern conversion varnish can destroy an old shellac finish. That's why the generic advice, just use this one product, always falls short. You need to know what you're working with before you pick up a cloth. Alright, let's get into the actual method. I'll walk you through this step by step the way I would train a new hire on their first day. Step 1. Figure out what finish you have. Before you touch anything, do this test. Take a cotton swab, dip it in denatured alcohol, and rub it on a hidden corner of the cabinet, inside a door, along the bottom edge. If the finish gets sticky or gummy, you likely have shellac or lacquer. If nothing happens and the finish stays hard, you've got polyurethane or conversion varnish. If it's painted, you'll know by looking. This matters because shellac and lacquer are solvent sensitive. Anything with alcohol, acetone, or strong solvents will damage them. Polyurethane is much more forgiving, but still not bulletproof. Painted cabinets are the most durable, but can show scratch marks more obviously than stained wood. Write down what you have. If you're in a newer home, there's a decent chance you have polyurethane or conversion varnish. If you're in a newer home built before 1980, test first. Step 2. Dry dust before anything else. This step gets skipped constantly, and it matters. Take a clean microfiber cloth, not a paper towel, not a sponge, and do a dry wipe of every cabinet surface before you introduce any moisture or product. Cabinet surfaces collect dust and loose debris on top of the grease layer. If you go straight in with a wet cloth, you're pushing that grit around. Grit causes micro scratches in the finish. Dry wipe first. It takes 3 minutes and it protects your finish. Step 3. The right cleaner for grease. Here is what I actually use and recommend for the grease layer that builds up on kitchen cabinets, particularly around the stove and near the range hood. Murphy oil soap, diluted properly, is reliable on oil and lacquer finishes. Not straight from the bottle, diluted. About 1/4 cup per gallon of warm water. This is a pH-neutral, oil-based soap, which means it cuts grease without being harsh on the finish. It's been around since 1910 for a reason. For heavier grease buildup, the kind that looks almost amber or brown and feels tacky, I use a dedicated kitchen degreaser designed for finished wood. Method Heavy-Duty Degreaser or ZEP Citrus Degreaser, diluted, works well here. The key word is diluted. Read the label. When in doubt, go weaker than the label says for a first pass. What you're looking for in a product: pH neutral or close to it, no ammonia, no bleach, no high alcohol content. That eliminates most general-purpose sprays right there. Step 4. The right application method. This is where most people make the second big mistake. They spray directly onto the cabinet. Don't do that. Spray onto your cloth, then wipe the cabinet. Here's why. When you spray directly onto wood cabinets, moisture gets into the seams, the corners, and around the hardware. Over time, that moisture causes the wood or MDF underneath to swell. You'll see it as the finish lifting at the edges, or the door starting to warp slightly, or the paint cracking in the corners. None of that is dramatic on the first pass, but repeat it weekly for a year and you'll have real damage. Spray your diluted cleaner onto a microfiber cloth. The cloth should be damp, not wet. If you wring it out and water drips, it's too wet. Wipe with the grain of the wood, not circular, not back and forth aggressively, with the grain. This matters on stained wood especially, because aggressive cross-grain wiping can create visible swirl marks in the finish over time. For corners and around hardware, use a soft toothbrush or a detail brush with your diluted cleaner. Hardware, the pulls, the hinges, these collect a remarkable amount of grease and they're almost always cleaned wrong. People wipe around them instead of cleaning them. Pull the hardware if you can. If not, work the brush around the base of it. Step 5. The second pass. Clean water only. After your cleaning pass, do a follow-up wipe with a clean cloth dampened with plain warm water. No cleaner. This picks up any residue the cleaning agent left behind. Soap residue on cabinets is actually what causes that sticky magnet effect you might have noticed, where the cabinets seem to get dirty faster after cleaning. That's soap that wasn't fully removed. The clean water rinse wipe fixes that. Step 6. Dry immediately. Take a dry microfiber cloth and do a final wipe down. You do not want water sitting on wood surfaces, even finished ones. Get it dry. This is especially true for the top surfaces of upper cabinets where water can pool unnoticed. Step 7. Conditioning and protection. This step is optional but worth understanding. Wood finishes can benefit from occasional conditioning, not olive oil, not lemon oil off the grocery store shelf, which usually contains mostly petroleum distillates. I use Howard Feed and Wax on stained wood finishes. It feeds the wood, adds a light protective coat, and gives a clean, uniform sheen. Apply it sparingly with a soft cloth, let it sit for a few minutes, buff it off. Do this a few times a year, not monthly. On painted cabinets, skip the oil-based conditioner. Instead, a light coat of paste wax, Renaissance wax, or even Johnson paste wax, applied once or twice a year gives painted wood a protective layer that makes the next cleaning job significantly easier. Grease doesn't bond as readily to a waxed surface. What about stubborn stains? For stains that have been sitting a while, the kind that didn't come off with the degreaser, use a paste of baking soda and dish soap, but only on polyurethane or conversion varnish finishes and only in a targeted spot. Apply it, let it sit for 2 minutes, then wipe gently. The mild abrasion of the baking soda does some work here, but you're using it intentionally in a specific place, not across the whole cabinet. Never use it on lacquer or shellac finishes. For oil stains specifically, if someone splattered olive oil or butter and it left a mark, a small amount of dish soap applied directly to the spot, worked in with a soft cloth, then rinsed off with the clean water rinse wipe method usually handles it. Dish soap is designed to cut oil, just don't use it across the whole cabinet. It's too stripping for a routine clean. Frequency. One more thing I want to address because people always ask, how often should you clean your cabinets? The honest answer is it depends on how much you cook. If you cook daily, especially anything that involves high heat and oil, frying, sautéing, roasting, the cabinets near your stove should get a quick wipe down weekly, not the full method every week, just a damp cloth pass to catch fresh grease before it bonds. The full method, degreaser, rinse, dry, condition, do that every 1 to 3 months depending on your cooking habits. If you're a light cook, monthly surface wipes are probably enough, the full method twice a year. The cabinets above and beside the refrigerator also collect grease that people never think about. That refrigerator exhausts warm air upward. That warm air carries airborne grease from the kitchen and deposits it on the cabinet above. Check those cabinets. They're often the worst in the kitchen and the most neglected. That's the method. No shortcuts, no gimmicks, just what actually works on the surface that's in the majority of American kitchens. If this is the first time you've seen this channel, I'm a third-generation cleaning professional. My grandmother mopped floors for a living. My father ran a commercial janitorial operation for 30 years. I grew up in this trade. What I share here comes from that, not from reading articles online. If you found this useful, subscribe. I put out cleaning content that's practical and direct, no filler. And if you have a cleaning problem that's been driving you crazy, a stain you can't get out, a surface you're afraid to touch, a mess nobody talks about, drop it in the comments below. I read every one of them and I use them to plan future videos. If you want to keep watching, the next video I'd point you to is the one on cleaning stone countertops, because most people make the exact same mistake there as they do with cabinets. They use the wrong cleaner and slowly destroy the surface they paid good money for. That one's worth watching before you grab the spray bottle. I'll see you in the next one.